Oh, okay. So yeah, we're good. But yeah, how are you?
I've been good. How about you?
Good, good. Just trying to get through the heat, like we said the other
Oh,
day.
yeah.
It's
That one, it has a lot of calculation just in
oh,
itself.
does it?
Yes.
Oh, okay, let me get my good pen here.
Okay, let's
All right,
start the
I'm
first
ready.
round. Okay. So, Dubai Airport has decided to counter the chaos in the airport taxi service by commencing a bidding process to assign airport taxi services to three operators only. Okay. After
Okay.
years of cheating passengers, black market drivers, and unlicensed cabs, the airport had had enough of the problems and is now taking action. So what they have done is they are retracting all existing permits and are issuing 2,100 new permits to the three largest operators in the country.
Okay, so a lot of information there,
Yes.
but hopefully I captured most of it. So, our client is a taxi operator,
Hmm.
and they're considering. So at Dubai Airport,
Hmm.
there's a lot of chaos in the, I guess, the taxi industry, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of black market. There's a lot of, you know, services that are not really paying the fees that they should be, or you know, unlicensed
Right.
cab operators. And so the airport is starting a clean slate pretty much,
Yes.
and they're giving out 2,100 permits
Right.
to three of the largest taxi operators in the country. And they
Hmm.
want us to help them see if
Right.
it's viable that they get the licenses
Yeah.
for the taxis. Okay,
Yes.
awesome.
Great.
Is our company, is he or she or they, are they looking for a specific metric, a specific target like return
Right.
with you know, with
Mhm.
this?
So they are looking at an investment target of 20% of ROI in the first year.
Okay, and then I guess secondly, they have capacity for 500
Right.
new taxis to be allocated to Dubai. Can we assume that they can allocate just all of these to Dubai and that there isn't, you know, other opportunities that they might be pursuing at the same time?
Yes. Good.
All right. So to figure out, you know, whether we should invest in the new permits for the 500 taxis,
Hmm.
I'd want to look at three things. I'd separate into three main buckets. The first would be just actually figuring out if the demand is there, if the, you know, if there's capacity, if this is a feasible, you know,
Right.
expansion to do with regards to market demand. The second thing I'd want to look at is, you know, if that is the case, I want to look at the unit economics and try to plan out if this is financially feasible, maybe
Hmm.
do some profitability analysis there to determine if we can actually hit that 20% ROI.
Right.
And then the last thing would just to be looking at the risks. Um, you know, I'm not sure the other competitors that we're looking at, you know, if those 2,100 permits are all dealt out. You know, I don't know what the competition would be like there, but it's worth considering. So yeah, so I think first before looking at like financials, do you have any data on like the market or, you know, consumer demand that might be helpful?
Okay. And we can assume the taxis are operating 24/7. Say, and we can assume there is no need for fuel, maintenance, or traffic jams.
Okay, so that would be 317,555,000,
Okay. Yeah.
give or take,
Great.
in terms of annual revenue. So this is awesome. Point three, 286.3 million as
Hmm.
our total costs.
Okay.
Now,
Right.
so yeah, I would say this is a good opportunity to go for.
Great.
Yeah. So this was a, you know, it was a good case. We looked at for this taxi operator of one of the big three local taxi companies. They had 500 new or 500 extra capacity of taxis that they could use for this Dubai airport, which is licensing 2,100 new taxis to be put in service. And we wanted to figure out, you know, whether this was an attractive opportunity, The person we're working with wants a 20% ROI. And so we looked at demand forecasts to see sort of what the utilization would be of our taxis and how the demand is allocated throughout the days because demand is different throughout the hours of the day. And we did find that during the nighttime there's 3 times greater demand during the daytime hours. So during the daytime hours we are lower we would be we would be demand cons- yeah, we would be demand constrained during the daytime hours.
Yeah.
So there would be underutilization there. However, holding that as equal, ceteris paribus, we calculated the revenue. We found that it was 317.55 million. We put in the costs
Yeah.
as 286.3 million, and subtracting those two, we found out that our profit in our first year would be 31.25 million, which is 25% of our initial investment.
Mhm.
And so that exceeded our ROI target. And then on top of that, in successive years, we wouldn't have to pay the upfront licensing fee, which is quite steep, 125 million. And so our ROI would go steeply up after that. And so, with the given information, yes, I would want to look more into the consumer demand and the allocation of demand throughout those hours to see if we could make sense of it. But given this data, I would say that it is an attractive opportunity, and that's what I would recommend to whoever it is we're talking with here.
Your structuring was fine, the time you took was fine this time, and I realized that from our past discussion, you were prompt to ask about if we have any specific number or a numerical objective, right? So
Yep,
that
I
that
remember
was
that.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think on the structure side of it, there was one issue. The communication in terms of how the numbers, the calculation, everything was perfect.
Thank you. Thank you. That's very valuable feedback. Yeah, I think if I were to do it again, I would have done the profitability first. Well, let me know when you're ready and
Okay,
switch hats here.
let's go to the next stage.
All right, let's do it. Okay. For this next case, it is a interviewer-led case.
Yeah,
And yeah, I'm ready whenever you are.
sure. Yeah, let's go for it.
All right. Our client is a consumer packaged goods company looking for top-line growth opportunities. They are considering extending its pre-existing baby products brand, for example, Huggies, into a new product category, baby clothing. They're looking for this business to generate over 300 million per year, beginning in year one. Should our client enter the baby clothing market?
Thank you for the information.
Yeah.
I'll just reiterate to see that I have covered everything, though it was a quite concise information there. So our client is a CPG company which which wants to get into a new product now.
And I do have a question whenever you're ready, the first question,
Sure.
which is how would you help the client decide whether they should enter the baby clothing market?
Uh, since we are looking at understanding if our client should enter into this new product category, I would divide it into four buckets, which I want to analyze before we can go about making that decision. So first one, so I would divide it into the market. We need to understand how our market is, what our consumers are, then the company, the competition, and the profitability for this product category and alternative investment opportunities in a year. So that's how I would want to structure and look at it. And based on that, we can make a decision or if it makes sense to get into this product right now.
Yeah. So yeah, I do have some information for you. You asked about the market.
Yeah.
Baby clothes market is about 4 billion in the United
Wow.
States.
4
And just
billion.
to
Okay.
add to this, the client has conducted extensive consumer research,
Okay.
and consumers would be very willing to purchase baby clothes made by them. And then finally,
Yeah.
their baby care products are sold through grocery stores, drugstores, and mass merchants like Target and Walmart. So yeah, so I have the next question for you,
Sure.
which is one driver of revenue is pricing.
Mhm.
Does our client have estimates on price points that they can charge for their baby clothes?
Okay,
Yep.
so we have a 40% margin. So I'm assuming on that with a 40% margin, our price or the weighted average our price would be $6 on a unit item.
Yes. Correct.
Okay.
So yeah, that moves us to the next question. You were correct there. How many
Okay.
units would our client need to sell to reach this revenue target? And
Mhm.
let me know if you
Sure.
could what you take from this graph and how it
Sure.
informs your answer.
So from this, one key part we can observe is the biggest brand right now, the top brand, is selling 45 million units.
So yeah, just wrapping up now. If the client, asks you for your initial recommendation, what would you say?
Yeah. So this case talks about a client wanting to get into the baby clothing the category here, and considering it's a big market with 4 billion of total market size here. I think based on what data which we saw there, we should enter the market, but considering we are only looking at wholesale as our channel of distribution, would be a not very fruitful opportunity considering the overall current the competition landscape which we have looked at.
Awesome. That's great. And that brings us to the end of the case. Awesome job, man. Just quickly getting things very quickly. Um, the last the last frame, the last question, not the conclusion, right? One before then. I just didn't catch. It might have been on me, but I just didn't catch what the frame was.
Yeah, I didn't actually. Now when you say it, I realized that I was just focusing as a Q&A that if they want to go ahead,
Yeah,
what could be the only option? So yeah, I could have
yeah.
structured it better.
It's great to do to interview you because I don't know. I see what success looks like.